The taxi driver. Peter's job was driving a taxi downtown. He made a small salary, but he liked his job because it wasn't dull. Every day, he saw new things that appealed to him. Peter was practical about the future. Maybe I can get a scholarship for college, he thought. I could study accounting and get a job at a bank. I could help clients invest their money. Peter stopped to pick up a passenger. "Where to?" he asked. "Go to the 4th Street Bank, and don't talk to me. I've had a rough day," the man said. Peter was a peaceful person, so he was not angry. When they stopped, the man's fare came to $10.25. He put his hands in his pockets. "I can't find my wallet," he said. "I can't pay the fare." Peter said, "I'll give you a temporary loan. You can borrow $10.25 from me." The man was embarrassed and said, "I was mean to you, but now I want to help you. I founded this bank. I want to give you $100. That much money was like a treasure to Peter. The man urged him to take the money, but he didn't. "You're an honest person," the man said. "I assumed you would take it. I want you to work for me." The next day, Peter started his job at the bank. He was happy to leave his former job.
A magical book. Sarah loved to read. She read novels and poems. She loved the beautiful descriptions and phrases. She loved reading work by poets and writers. She didn't like video games or technology. She was on the basketball team, but she didn't like sports. Her parents made her play basketball. In fact, Sarah's parents made her do many things. But she didn't want to do those things. She just wanted to sit and read all day. One day, a small book came in the mail. It was for Sarah. The book looked very special. It was printed on sheets of gold. Sarah began to read. The outline of the story was simple. It was about a magical place. Strange things happened there. One example from the book was about a boy who could control people. In one scene, he made his friends tell funny jokes. Sarah loved the book. She read it all the time. Then something strange happened. The book gave Sarah a special power. She could control other people. She was like the boy in the book. During one exam, she made her friend tell silly jokes. Her friend got in trouble. After school, Sarah did not make a direct trip home. On the way, she went to the local store. She wanted to play more tricks on people. She made problems. She made people fall down. She laughed and had fun. Finally, she left and started to walk home. Then she saw something. Her basketball coach was about to walk in front of a bus. He was looking the other way. She had to stop him. She used her power. She controlled him. She made him stop walking. Sarah learned something that day. It was better to help people than make them suffer. So she put a limit on how she used her power. She did not want to do bad things with it anymore. She only wanted to do good.
The Big Race. A dog saw a group of animals cross the road. He walked over to meet them. "What are you doing?" he asked them. "I just sold them tickets to a race between the rabbit and the turtle," the duck responded. The dog was extremely excited. He felt fortunate that he happened to be there. "I don't have anything to do today," the dog said. "I want to buy a ticket too." The dog sat down to observe the race. It would be many kilometers in length. The rabbit and the turtle stood next to each other. They waited for the race to start. The dog wondered why the turtle agreed to run against the rabbit. Being fast was not a characteristic of turtles. The rabbit was going to win easily. Suddenly, the race began. The rabbit ran extremely quickly. The turtle walked slowly. After a minute, the rabbit looked back. He saw that the turtle was far behind him and was breathing quickly because he was so tired. The rabbit smiled and slowed down to a walk. A minute later, the rabbit said, "I'm winning, so I'll take a rest." He sat and began to consume some grass. Then he let his eyes close. He wasn't the winner yet, but there was no risk of him losing the race. He went to sleep. Hours later, a loud sound woke him. All of the animals were talking loudly and looking at the field. He felt fear for the first time. The turtle was almost at the finish line. Now the rabbit realized his mistake. But the race was over. He gave the turtle an opportunity to win, and the turtle took it. The duck handed the turtle his prize. It was the happiest day of the turtle's life. The dog was happy for the turtle. "He isn't fast," the dog thought, "but he tried his best and did something great."
Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a 7-day holiday celebrated in the United States and other countries by people of African descent. It is celebrated from December 26th to January 1st each year. The celebration is dedicated to honoring African culture and working together as a community. Kwanzaa was created in 1966 by Maulana Kareng. Kareng was an African Studies professor at California State University. According to him, Kwanzaa comes from the Swahili language and means first fruit. Kareng wanted to create a holiday for African Americans as a way for them to reconnect with their heritage. The colors of Kwanzaa are black, red, and green. These colors are seen in decorations, such as African pieces of art, baskets, and cloth. Millions of African Americans wear African clothes during Kwanzaa and decorate their homes with fruit and vegetables. Each day, a family will celebrate one of 7 different principles of their African heritage, such as unity, faith, and community. Then they light a candle. The candles are put on a candle holder called a kinara. The middle candle is black. The 3 candles on one side of the kinara are red, and the other 3 candles are green. On the 6th day of Kwanzaa, families remember their ancestors and get together for a big dinner called a keramu. Traditional African American dishes, which include chicken, fish, rice, beans, peas, sweet potatoes, and other vegetables, are served. Like Christmas, there are gifts which are exchanged on the 7th day. Books are always included because they symbolize the importance of learning about history and tradition. Kwanzaa is a way of celebrating the end of the year by honoring African culture and traditions, and to start the new year with family members as well as the community.
The race for water. There was a town next to a river. The people there had a lot of water, but they wasted it. That made the sky angry. It said, "If you waste water, I will take it away from you." But the people didn't listen. When the season changed from spring to summer, the clouds disappeared. The bright sun was hot and made the river dry. There was no water available. People asked, "When will the rain fall?" The sky's response was, "You don't appreciate water. You waste it, and now I will never make rain again." A boy decided that this wasn't fair. He thought of a solution. He asked the sky to race him. He said, "If I get to the top of that hill before your rain can form puddles, you must fill our river." The sky laughed. "Little boy, I am the sky. I am above everything else. You cannot beat me." But the boy knew he would win. When the race began, the boy ran forward. The sky started raining on the hill, but puddles did not form there. When it rained on the hill, the water went down. The sky kept raining. The water flowed down into the river. When the boy reached the top of the hill, the river was full. The people began to celebrate. It was the highest level the river had ever been at before. The sky was angry. "A boy can't beat me. I won't fill your river," it said. Now the boy laughed. "It doesn't matter whether you want to fill it or not," he said. "You already did." The sky looked at the full river. "You tricked me," it said. It asked the people, "Do you appreciate water now?" "Yes," they said. "We won't waste it." That is how a lone boy saved his town and won the race for water.
Eat healthy. It is important to eat healthy food. There are 5 main healthy food groups. They are grains, fruits, vegetables, protein, and dairy. A food pyramid can show you how much of each group you should eat. Many different kinds of food are necessary for a balanced diet. You need to eat grains, such as rice, wheat, and several types of bread. Fruits and vegetables are also important. Fruits, such as bananas, are good for you. Others, such as oranges and kiwis, contain a lot of vitamin C. Vegetables are an important part of a daily diet. They are extremely healthy and can be eaten in many ways. Salads with raw vegetables, such as spinach and carrots, are common, but you can also cook vegetables in many different ways. Soups are another easy way to get vegetables into your diet. Protein is an important food group too. Meats, such as beef and chicken, are well-known forms of protein. Tofu, beans, eggs, and nuts also contain high amounts of protein. You should also eat dairy products, such as cheese, yogurt, and milk as well. A healthy diet includes drinking lots of water instead of sugary drinks, such as soda and juice. While sweets may not be considered healthy foods, they are fine if you don't eat too many. Chocolate and cake are well-loved sweets commonly found at restaurants and grocery stores. They are often served at special events, such as birthday parties and weddings. At restaurants, you can ask the waiters to tell you which ingredients are included in different dishes. At home, you can always find healthy and delicious recipes in cookbooks or on the internet. Eating healthy food is great for your health.
Shipwrecked. Simon Yates was a lawyer. He helped many people. However, he was not a nice man. His policy was to help only rich people. He didn't bother about social injustice. He made a lot of money, but many people didn't like him. Even people on his staff didn't like him. In fact, they were glad when he got into trouble. Simon had a very bad day. He did many things wrong and lost his job. Soon, he didn't have any money. His wife, Mrs. Yates, began to have doubts about him. Simon wanted to start a new life. He planned to leave the country. He mentioned his plan to the captain of a ship. The captain was exploring the world. The captain felt bad for Simon and said, "I will take you to foreign countries." They left the next day. Near the conclusion of their international trip, the weather turned bad. A wave pushed Simon off the boat, but he was alive. He swam toward an island. After a long time, he got there. At first, he was upset. He was lost and alone. "I'll never go home again," he thought. He had a lot of problems, but he didn't die. He built a house in a tree. He lived on a diet of fish. He made tools from wood and bones. He made a cup to drink rainwater. Slowly, he learned to be happy on the island. He swam every day. He had trouble sometimes, but he always found a way to fix the problem. Life was simple. He liked it. Finally, people on a ship saw Simon on the island. They wanted to take him home. But Simon was happy. He gave them a long speech about life. He said he wanted to stay. He liked his new, simple life more than his old life.
The 7 Cities of Gold. Many years ago, a Spanish officer named Coronado heard the story of 7 great cities. "The walls of these cities are made of gold," his friends told him. "The people eat meat from golden plates and dress in nice clothes," they said. They called these cities the 7 Cities of Gold. Were the cities real? Coronado never considered asking his friends. Coronado thought to himself, "The things in these cities must be worth a lot of money." So he went to find the 7 Cities of Gold. He took along 300 men, many horses, and extra food. They headed west. Coronado wanted to achieve his goal very badly. Coronado and his men rode for many days. Then they saw some cities. "We found the 7 Cities of Gold," his men said. But Coronado wasn't happy. He had a different opinion. "These can't be the 7 Cities of Gold," he said. "Look, they're made of dirt." Coronado was right. The cities weren't bright and golden. They were dirty and brown. The people didn't eat meat from golden plates. They ate vegetables from regular bowls. They wore the most basic clothes. Coronado regarded the cities as ugly places. "What happened to the cities of gold?" he thought. "Did someone destroy them? Was there a war? Did someone already come and take the gold?" That night, the people of the cities entertained Coronado and his men and served them food. They advised Coronado to go home. "There is no gold here," they told him. Coronado was angry. Did his friends lie to him? He left the next morning. He looked back at the cities one more time. The sun reflected light on the dirt houses. Coronado thought he saw a bit of gold. Were his friends right after all? "No," he told himself, "it's just the sun." Then he turned away and went home.
Katie. I first met 8-year-old Katie on a rainy afternoon. I was a nurse at a hospital. The clerk at the desk told me about Katie. She was there because she felt a lot of pain. The doctors located a problem at the base of her brain. I knew she was special even before she got better. I'll always remember Katie as a hero. When I entered Katie's room, She was not in her bed. She was in a chair next to Tommy, a little boy. Though Katie did not feel well, she was playing with Tommy and his toys. It took a lot of effort for her just to sit in the chair. But she played with Tommy because it made him happy. Katie was always smiling and never appeared to be in pain. She refused to just lie in bed. One day, I found her painting a picture. Later, she gave it to one of the older patients. Another day, she went outside to get flowers for another sick little girl. Katie made everyone smile. The doctors hurried to fix the problem in Katie's brain. The operation was successful. The doctors informed the hospital staff of the good news. Katie was fine. She soon felt excellent. She got better and was able to leave the hospital a month later. I have had a long career as a nurse. I have met many patients. However, I have never met another girl like Katie. Even after she got well, she still came to the hospital. She played various games with the young patients. She read many books to the older patients. Katie's kind heart helped her get better so quickly. She is a hero to me and everyone else at the hospital.
Better reward. Jenny delivered food for a restaurant. She read the newspaper and said, "Uh-oh." There was a story about a thief. He stole food, and no one had seen him. Even the police couldn't catch him. Jenny was a little scared. She worked close to that area. The newspaper included a message from the police. "If anything strange occurs, call us. If you help us catch the thief, you'll earn a reward." Jenny talked to Jim. He managed the restaurant. "Do you know about the thief?" "Yes," he said, "but he steals more than one person can eat. And why haven't the police stopped him yet? It's a mystery. If you see him, contact the police. Don't run after him." Jenny drove to a customer's house. She left her car and opened the gate to the house. But then she heard a noise by her car. She said, "Thief!" She wasn't scared. She wanted the reward. She did the opposite of what Jim told her to do. "Hey," she said, "get back here." She set the food on the ground and ran to her car. But the thief had already left with the food. Jenny followed a noise around the corner. She was amazed. She saw a dog and some puppies. They were eating her food. They looked thin and scared. "The actual thief is just a dog. She's feeding her puppies," she said. "That's why she steals so much food." Jenny felt bad. She tried to comfort the dogs with another plate of food. Then she took them back to the store. Everyone there took a puppy home. Jenny called the police. She told them there was no real thief. Jenny didn't do it to receive the reward anymore. She said, "It was just a dog. But there's no charge for catching this thief," she said. "My new dog is a better reward."
The camp. Stacy wanted to stay at a nice hotel for vacation, but her parents sent her to a terrible camp instead. For breakfast, Stacy liked fresh juice and chocolate milk, but she got water at the camp. In the afternoon, she wanted to write poems, but she had to swim. The camp was near an airport with loud planes. Spider webs hung over her bed. To her, the kids' average behavior was very bad. No girl matched her personality. She hated it. One day they had a class. Mental exercise sounded good to Stacy, but it was a course on water safety. They learned how to be safe passengers on a boat. Stacy didn't ever plan to go on a boat. The next day they played a game. There was a red team and a blue team. Stacy was on the blue team. Each team had to try to remove the other team's flag from a pole. They also had to use water guns. "I'm not much of an athlete," she said, but she still had to play. Stacy took a water gun and looked for somewhere to hide. A boy said, "Stacy, you advance to the middle. I will go right. Those two will go left." Stacy still didn't want to play. She walked into the forest and saw a red team player coming. Stacy hid behind a tree and then jumped out and shot the other player. "This is fun," Stacy thought. Several minutes after moving further, Stacy saw the red flag. A red team member was watching over it. She shot him with her water gun. Then she lowered the flag and ran back to her team. "I got it!" she said. The blue team won. Stacy was the hero. For the rest of the week, Stacy had fun. She even made new friends.
A strong friendship. Tim was the strongest man in the town. When he played sports, he always won. He performed and exercised in the public park. He did this to show everyone how strong he was. Most people liked him, but one man didn't. His name was Jack. Jack hated Tim. Jack was a movie critic and the smartest man in town. He could solve complex math problems, but no one cared. Jack wanted to be famous like Tim. One day, there was an unusual event. A big storm came suddenly. The town was buried in snow. No one could get out. They needed food. The people said, "This is a task for a strong man." Tim was under pressure to save them. But Jack wanted to be a hero, so they both went. Tim said, "You can't help because of your lack of strength." But Jack knew the local area very well and could find paths that were usable despite the snow. They led in the direction of another town. That town had food. They walked until there was a block of ice in their way. Jack said, "We can't get past it, but if you strike it, it might break." Tim knew he probably had enough strength, so he struck it with a hammer. It broke. When there were more blocks of ice, Tim broke them. That made him tired. He couldn't walk any more. Jack said, "Let's unite and support each other. I'll get the food alone. You rest here." Jack came back with food. Tim couldn't remember which path led home. He needed Jack to be his guide. The men became friends by working together. In town, people saw Jack with the food and cheered. They called Jack a hero, but Jack didn't care. He was thinking of something else. He said to Tim, "I thought I was smart, but I learned a new term today, friendship."
Joe's Pond. Joe made the world a better place. He got the idea to do that at school. He watched a video there. It was about a factory. This factory produced a lot of trash and put it in a river. The trash and water were a bad mix. People populated the area by the river and drank its water. This made them sick. Many of them needed medicine and made regular visits to doctors. But the video wasn't all bad news. It showed ways to pick up trash and why it's important to do this. It said people can make a difference to their environment. The video's important features made Joe associate trash with hurting people. One day, Joe walked through a park. He recognized some of the problems from the video. One instance of these problems was the trash in the pond. It was full of plastic cups. There was too much trash. Joe didn't want it to hurt anyone. He told his grandfather about the park. His grandfather said, "You know, it's a tradition in our family to help people. That's why we give food to poor people. Maybe you can help people by cleaning the park." Cleaning the park would involve hard work. Joe decided to organize a group to help him. He chose a wide area of the park. It had the most trash. He asked his family and friends to come. On Saturday, he gave everyone a sharp stick. They wondered why. He said, "You use the stick's tip to pick up trash. This makes it easier." They worked for 6 weeks. Different people helped each time, but Joe was always there. In that period of time, Joe saw a range of results. There was no trash in the water. People could swim in it. Joe knew that was a good sign. He was happy because he helped his environment.